Hey Pisces, welcome to your April reading. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for your time. And if you resonate with what comes through in the reading, liking and subscribing to the channel just helps us to make content that you love, right? So go for that if it feels right. Comment below with reflections or other things that might be useful for other people watching. I'd love to hear from you, Pisces. So let me know how you are resonating and what parts you like and all of that juicy stuff. We do have a lot going on in April astrologically and also in the collective, right? So a lot of people going through some really dense work, and I hope to introduce some of the themes that might show up for you. And then I'll be introducing some shadow work themes as well. So quite a few people have asked me, like, what is shadow work? And the simplest explanation that I can give you is pulling things out from your unconscious mind and bringing them into your conscious reality to serve the purpose of always being in touch with a little bit of manageable ego death, which honors that we are multidimensional beings. We are not just our thoughts. We are not just the part of us that keeps us safe. We are not just our ego. And ego is a small fragment of who you are. And I find, particularly in the work that I do, that ego narratives are the most tormenting for most people. So if you want to get out of the ego paradigm, which is um, an inflated sense of self, it can also be incredibly deconstructive and deconstructive sense of self. So it can go from narcissism to incredibly low self-worth, but it's all the ego's territory. It doesn't, it's almost personal the way that it reflects. But if you want to go into your intuition, into your knowing, what your higher self has to say, what you honor, what your body is picking up, and all of your psychic senses, then we really have to get out of the ego paradigm, which says, I know everything, and we just have to keep ourselves safe, because the ego will say, don't do that. It could go wrong. Don't go there. They don't understand you. And all these stories around who we think we are. I think our identity needs to be more fluid. And if we can come into states of curiosity and connection and balancing light and dark at the same time, we can actually be more real, more authentic, more ourselves, honoring that, yeah, there's shitty parts of ourselves and none of us really have it together. And I'm not pretending to be perfect and nobody else needs to. It's just I'm fumbling my way through a physical life and an incarnation that I've obviously chosen for myself. And that's difficult at times. And I'm not pretending to know everything about it. I'm discovering that piece by piece. So that's why I've created the shadow deck. And I've done it with the animal spirits because I've been teaching shamanism to my students for many years now. And I find the animal spirits beautiful to work with and more manageable for most. So particularly those that are attuned to nature and love nature. We love the animal spirits. We also love the plant spirits too. Okay, 3-card reading. It's a story with different levels of awareness. Let's dive in. Looking kind of cool for you, Pisces, actually. Let's honor the parts of you that are exhausted, the parts of you that have creatively maybe overcommitted. Um, this is not you've reached burnout card. This is just think about the parts of your life that are creating fatigue and overwhelm, and just honor them and say, okay, where are my resources? What have I got in the tank? How tired actually am I under all the cortisol and the adrenaline and everything else that keeps us going? And what parts of my life are actually draining me? That could be a person, that could be a job, that could be a hobby, it could be something else that's going on, but just honor those parts of you that are actually wearing you down. And then once we acknowledge them, like, actually, yeah, it's really hard for me to support this person in my life because they're going through such a dense place, or actually work's been really hard lately because of this, this, and this. So honor them first. And then we need to go into intentional rest, resting of the mind. He's not asleep, this guy. He is going to a intentional resting place So for those of us living a shamanic life, this is go and sit with your guides, go on a vision quest, interrupt the day-to-day, hack into the stress, and go and figure out, if I put myself in a place of stillness, what wisdom can I gather around the exhaustion, right? So it's not a time to commit to more projects. It's not a time to renovate the house and have a full-time job and look after the kids and do all these other things as well. It's a time to step back and go, whoa, I don't have infinite resources. My body can't go forever. I'm not an Energizer bunny. How much do I have in the tank? And am I running into dangerous territory, right? Because the body will disarm you if it needs to. It will force rest if it needs to. Nobody likes to be unwell. Nobody likes to be bedridden. Nobody likes to not being able to get off the couch, but your body will make that decision if you don't hack into the stress, right? Your back will go, you'll get a cold, something will happen that will force that rest. But my advice is realize if you're exhausted and the tank's getting low, put yourself into rest, which means, yes, clear your schedule, say no to everything, simplify your life, put yourself in a resting place, let everybody know I really need to rest. I'm going to take this time for myself, to be with my family, to eat and sleep and nourish myself, because the prize is you get more time with your soulmates, or you get to call in your soulmate, or you can be in union with people that is fulfilling and satisfying, or you can find the people in your life that you truly have connection with. Yeah, this is about other people in union, whatever that means. That can be the friends that light you up, the besties that you haven't called for a while. It can mean finding a new level in your intimate partnership. It can mean changing the parameters of your contract so you actually find a fulfilling place, leading the way towards actual connection so that your cup overflows with other people. But connecting from an empty cup, it's a little bit risky, isn't it? It's like, if I connect with my loved ones from a place of insecurity, from burnout, I got nothing for them. I can't listen and be in loving awareness for them. I can't hold space. I'm really just like, what do you need? What? I don't understand. Oh, okay. Yep, I'll come round. We don't want that. We want place. We want to be full so that we overflow with other people. And where we come to the arrangement full, we bring our whole selves. We're energized, fulfilled. We've got the rest of our lives not sorted, but at least in a place where our cup is mostly full and we're dedicated to that. If you're burnt out and exhausted and you have to rest, it's time to say, oh, I don't have capacity for that right now. I can't show up for you. I'm so sorry. I've let myself get too low. I really wish it was different, but it's a no right now. I might have to pull out of some projects and some things I hoped for myself. Go on the vision quest, go on the journey, speak to my guides so that I can find and facilitate this connection, which is so very important. So important. We all need this. We all want this. And it shows us that we can find it in many parameters, right? Two is about union, but it can be union with your emotions. It can be union with your spirit. It can be union with people, with your environment, with nature, with your animals. It can just be that fulfillment can come from so many places. It's not just romantic. That is a 3D paradigm. We want to read from a 5D place, right? So union creates alchemy and power. So we want union with everything: source, spirit, nature, our environment, people, the reality that we're in. We want emotional and spiritual fulfillment with alchemy all the time. So this is strong soul contracts wherever it might show up for you. Let's look at the shadow, because it does look good, Pisces, if you can facilitate the rest. Be honest with yourself. What have I got in the tank? Is the tank 20% and I'm still driving around? Am I on the red light? Petrol light's going off and I'm still driving around thinking that I'm invincible. Or am I at 80%? Or there's a situation that I think might start to drain me soon? That's your intuition. Or do I just need the rest for the sake of changing things up? because the shadow aspect comes in through the buffalo. Buffalo is an incredibly strong creature, right? So if you are strong, resource rich, you prioritize that, you work on it, you rest when you need to rest, you notice when you're about to burn out, you address all of those factors, your presence in that medicine and in that self-responsibility is what the buffalo is talking about. So the warning signal is, if you're strong and you set an example of that, then everybody else will be better for it. But if you play on your weakness and allow burnout to happen, then we do put burden on everybody around us too. There's self-responsibility, but there's also the truth of we're all connected and we all affect each other. You know, if one of my loved ones or one of my friends is in a really dark place, I feel that. It affects me for sure. I worry, I think to myself, what's the best thing I can do? And most of the time, the best thing I can do is make myself strong and healthy and well, so I'm ready to catch and I'm ready to support. But it's up to them to ask me. So be the buffalo for everyone and be ready for when you do need to support others so that they can be ready for you as well. It's your presence that makes people stronger, not what you say, not how hard you try, not all those other things that are wearing you out and creating the burnout. It's actually how strong you are within yourself. Yeah. So acknowledge, where are you trying too hard? And how is that creating burnout somewhere? And are you intentionally resting, taking time off, admitting that you went too far, or you're overcommitted, or you're doing too much, or you're trying to multitask? Are you doing things well, strategically, with a plan? Are you following the plan? Are you showing up to it? Are you having discipline? This is all buffalo stuff. Buffalo doesn't muck around. Buffalo is not anxious and stressed and moving around. It's not monkey energy. It's buffalo, incredibly sturdy and strong and stubborn in a way, and sturdy and strong amongst a herd with kin, you know, with other people. But a buffalo is a buffalo. So acknowledge if you're strong right now, you're strong in your body, strong in your mind. And if not, this is what this is all talking about. Prioritize the actions that will create that strength and be that presence for others rather than that sense of overextending from an empty cup. If you don't have the resources to support other people, then you got to show up for yourself and say, I don't have capacity for that. I'm really sorry. Right? Because if we all leak and we're all coming from an empty cup, that's when relationships get really funny. And that's when your relationship with yourself goes into a sense of betrayal because you're not prioritizing the discipline and the things you need to do. So I love you, Pisces. I hope that helps. And let me know if you're resonating. Like and subscribe, comment below, all of the things. I love you so much. I will see you next month. Happy April. Bye.